Welcome to Loremen, a podcast about local legends and obscure curiosities from days of yore. I'm James Shakeshaft.
Whereas I am Alasdair Beckett-King.
Good use of whereas.
Like to mix it up every now and again.
Well, Alasdair, it's still the summer. We're still on our holidays.
Am I still on my jolly holiday in Penzance?
We're on our podcast holiday down in Cornwall. I've got a further story from Penzance.
A final third story.
Yeah, it's the haunted Dolphin Inn.
No, wait, I forgot that I can't do a dolphin impression. Can you do an impression of a ghost dolphin? There it is. I don't know how you make that noise.
All right there, Alasdair.
Hello, James. Hello, rustic James.
How's your tratter getting on then?
How's my what getting on?
How's your tratter getting on then?
My tratter?
Tratter. Yar.
Tratter?
Yar.
Like, what is that,
That's
James?
a tractor.
Tractor. Oh, sorry, you were using dialect.
Yeah, said in a genuine countryside accent. TM.
Wow, brilliant. Well done for going out there and getting a genuine countryside person to voice that so accurately.
There you go. Thanks, Giles. Yeah, Farmer Giles, actually. I've just realised. To me, Giles is not the sort of name of someone who talks like that. My name's Giles. Is it? Nowadays.
These days, no, it's quick.
Giles. They probably do have land. Anyway, my thoughts about the evolution of the name Giles is not what I'm here to talk to you about, Alasdair.
That's not the subject of this episode, okay.
It's not why I brought in an actual countryman to do the introduction there.
What is the subject?
Well, we're still in Cornwall. We're in Penzance again.
Are you lumbering towards a Cornish triptych, James?
Yeah, I think we are.
3 Cornish episodes, wow.
Yeah. Like a tricorne hat, which a pirate might wear.
Yeah. I was thinking about tricorne hats recently, and the advantage of a tricorne hat is someone tries to sort of knock your hat to a funny angle. It just clicks back round, it's still facing forwards.
Yeah.
That's the thing about a tricorne hat. It's got 3 forwardses. Whereas another hat, like a baseball cap, would have to go 360 degrees to return to forwards.
Whoa, yeah, but you can wear it backwards.
You can wear it backwards. If you're some kind of crazy rebel or a communist, yes, you could wear a baseball cap backwards. Who would do that?
I suppose
the
maybe
peak is to keep the sun out of your eyes.
Or maybe keep it off the back of your neck if you bend it down concentrating on your marbles.
Yeah, you might need peripheral vision for skating, for your skateboards.
Or marbles.
I
suppose a beret or a beanie they've got.
That's true, yeah. Infinite.
Was it 0 things of rotation?
It's something like that, yeah. So either they're never facing forwards or they always are.
Yeah. Or a Kangol hat. You could wear that at any angle.
That's the slogan for Kangol. Kangol, any angle.
Any angle for a Kangol. We shouldn't give this away. But a tricorne hat, is it supposed to have the point at the front?
Well, it's got 3 corns.
Or one of the points at the front.
Well, a corn is a horn, isn't it? So I don't actually think it has any horns. I think, to my mind, it has 3 axes of symmetry. I can't back that up with facts.
But is the point meant to be at the front? Is one of the points meant to be at the front?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, for aerodynamic reasons.
But when you see a pirate's hat, a pirate's version, they're often sort of turned so that the flat side is the
flat side on.
And you get your Jolly Roger.
Yeah, well, that's to display the Jolly Roger that they've put on there. But also, B, that's the tricorne hat version of wearing a peaked cap backwards. If you're a sort of bodacious bad boy.
It's because pirates were the bad boys of the seas,
Very
weren't they?
Yep.
That's what they used to call them in olden times.
They were catching air. They were doing ollies on their boats. They kick flips. They were collecting the letters of the words skate. This is the kind of thing skaters do.
Yeah. When they came into port, they'd like grind along the seawall on their boats.
Yeah. So have you got a tale for me about pirates, James?
A pirate does feature because we're in Penzance.
Good.
I'm taking us to a pub in Penzance. The Dolphin Inn.
James.
Yes.
I've been there.
You've been there.
I went to 2 pubs in Penzance. I went to the Admiral Benbow.
Oh, yes.
Which is named after Admiral Benbow, who is famous for being mutinied against.
Oh.
I don't know. I often take the sides of the mutineers, I think. I think Admiral Benbow said, well, they were just sailing about and he saw a French boat and he was like, let's get them, lads.
Yeah.
And one boat in the fleet went, yay, anything for you, Admiral Benbow. And like 3 other ships went, maybe we could stay alive, and didn't attack the French ship. And he was defeated. And so the captains of the ships that went, I don't think so, were tried for mutiny for not dying, I think. I think that was what made them mutinous. And I took a picture of it, which I put on Twitter, because the bricks and the mortar on the Admiral Benbow are inverted. So the mortar sticks out.
Oh.
Which is from the stones, which is very confusing to look at.
Yeah.
And they have a dog there called Cloudsley Shovel.
That's a lovely name.
Named after Sir Cloudsley Shovel.
Cloudsley's Shovel.
And I went to the Dolphin, and there's a ghost's message.
What?
I've got a ghostly message for you, James, from the Dolphin.
Really? What is it?
We went to the Dolphin because they've got good vegan options.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a rare thing in Penzance.
Mm-hmm.
And on the chalkboard, you know many pubs have a chalkboard.
Yeah.
And there's probably a fun drawing and maybe a witticism that's been stolen from Twitter.
Yeah, or something like, oh, it's a good day to have some beer.
Yeah, or this way, pub, that way, I don't know, probably sharks.
That's nice, and that's good for the coastal town as well, potentially accurate.
You'd have to make it bears if you were in a landlocked pub.
Yeah.
Well, this, and I'm sending you a picture of this, James, and we can share this with the listeners, but I don't know if they'll want to see it, because it's such a terrifying image. In a ghostly hand, in what can only be described as a ghost's handwriting. The board, it doesn't have the menu, doesn't have a witticism, doesn't have a little drawing. It says, and I don't know how to read this because some of the letters are not recognizably human language.
Yeah.
I think it says, are you a friend?
Yes.
I think it's trying to say, are you a friend? Like, are you Trenge? Are you Freya?
I thought it said either, are you Maele, which is Italian for pig.
Are you an Italian pig?
I think it's meant to say, are you there?
Are you there?
But the there.
So they're trying to reach us, James. We were the ghosts.
Oh, no. We were the
ghosts.
And now I'm a ghost via WhatsApp.
Are you there? Are you there? Are you there?
But it starts off well.
Are you is perfectly clear.
Yes.
No ambiguity. Carry on with the story. So I just wanted to share a ghostly message with you and to prove that I had been to the pub with a close-up of a blackboard that could only have been taken in the Dolphin Inn.
Just a quick Admiral Benbow sidebar. Is that the one that's got the pirate in the roof?
Yes. Admiral Benbow has not a real pirate.
No.
Some kind of plasterwork, fiberglass effigy of a pirate on the roof. And it takes a while before you notice it. On the inside is highly decorative, full of ship's wheels and lanterns and
ships don't need wheels. They go on water. They're having you on.
Sorry, I made a fool of myself.
They're having you on.
Sorry, I forgot that you were a maritime gent.
I've got a couple of recordings of these tales. One of them is from Haunted Inns by Marc Alexander.
Yeah, good old Marc Alexander.
The 70s book with the pictures, men with ciggies pointing at walls.
Yep.
And the Dolphin Penzance features in there. It describes it as having an atmosphere so salty that Treasure Island could be filmed there with hardly any adaptation. Is that accurate for you?
Yeah, well, it wasn't that salty. It wasn't that salty when I was there. That said, the Admiral Benbow was sort of almost deliberately quaint, so not plausibly period, whereas this felt more traditional.
This place contains a couple of ghosts, because it's also written up in Ghosts of Cornwall by Peter Underwood.
President of the Ghost Club.
President of the Ghost Club Society.
Society, sorry, not the
Former president of the Ghost Club.
Former president of the Ghost Club. We don't know what happened. We don't talk about it.
No.
It's not for us to speculate about what happened there.
But something did. The first ghost is called the Captain, or George.
I have to say, the Captain is a better name.
Than George?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
For a ghost. Nothing against any Georges listening. I'm not criticising. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no criticism to any Georges. It's not the spookiest name.
It's not a very spooky name, George.
This is the ghost of an old sea captain who wears a tricorne hat with lace ruffles and big brass buttons down the front of his coat.
Ooh.
He seemingly wears heavy boots because his footsteps are heard, and they always follow the same route.
Clonk. And then the whizzing of his tricorne hat around. It's facing forwards. It's forwards again. It's back to forwards. It's always forwards.
It's either pirate forwards or captain forwards. But his footsteps go from the window upstairs across the top of the bar to the back of the building. Always in one line, like a pipe would be in a line, maybe. And the other ghost is that of a young man with fair hair who's seen in one of the bedrooms. And in 1873... a young man did actually die. According to the Royal Cornwall Gazette of the 8th of February 1873, he fell from the loft all the way to the cellar floor.
Oh.
Yeah.
How?
Well, it says at the back of the cellar there's like an open space like the bottom of a well. It seems like there's some sort of lift shaft type effect.
This is just the falling hole. We don't use that.
Yeah, it's got no practical use.
That's just the hole that stretches from the very top to the very bottom of our house. And we just keep that there.
Just in case anyone fancies falling.
Yeah, just for a little fall. Wow.
Also in that cellar, there's a tunnel with an archway of 6 feet high, which has been sealed by large blocks of granite. And they think that might have been a smuggler's tunnel.
Yeah.
Because when they were doing some redecorating, they found a smuggler's hiding place with 2 casks of rum in it.
Really? Still there? How old was the rum?
It was before best before dates.
Oh, wow. It was that old.
Yeah.
Could you still drink it? Did they drink it?
It doesn't say if they drank
it. It should say. That should be your first question, Peter.
Good point, actually. Peter or Marc.
Or Marc.
There was also a secret room in the roof.
So where did the secret room in the roof lead? Because you can't really tunnel that far through a roof before people start to notice.
Just a little sort of spare cupboard, just in case. People would hear the noises of dragging in the dead of night and whispers from empty rooms. And once they found bits of oldie-worldy tobacco in a room that was formerly occupied by 2 elderly maiden ladies. So this is according to the chambermaid. When I went in to clean out, I was surprised to find tobacco ash scattered about the floor. It struck me as strange that 2 such nice ladies should not bother to use the ashtrays. And what was even stranger, that they should use coarse pipe tobacco, the old-fashioned sort, in long strips.
So there's 2 possibilities here. One is that between the departure of those 2 women and the cleaning person coming in, a ghost came and smoked some historical pipe tobacco in the room.
Go on. Well, I don't think we need to go on.
Or an obvious case of classic secret historical lesbians going around the country.
Smoking their pipes.
Probably on motorbikes, smoking pipes. Wearing tweed, shooting clay pigeons, and making mordant observations.
Well, you say that, but the chambermaid goes on to say...
They weren't lesbians. I checked. Naturally, I checked if they were lesbians and they weren't.
Yeah, no. It says, when they left, the room remained vacant, but after a couple of days, I went into dust to make sure everything was all right, and there, just as it had been when the 2 ladies were there, was a scattering of tobacco.
Okay.
It was as though someone had knocked out their pipe so that the tobacco and ash were everywhere. Well, at least I know enough now not to blame the old ladies.
Good. Okay, fair enough. I saw what I wanted to see.
Lesbian tobacco ash?
Yes. 2 motorbiking elderly lesbians. When was this? Was it from the period when motorbikes exist?
The 70s.
Oh, the 1970s.
Oh, yeah.
They could have been open. So I was thinking it was like the 1870s and they had to secretly travel around in a carriage together. You go, gals.
But, Alasdair, there's a little fact I also didn't tell you about this pub. It's reputed to have been the place that Sir Walter Raleigh smoked the first pipe smoked in England.
I've heard that. But I think I also heard that it was nonsense. But carry on.
You're going to be telling me there's no such thing as pipe-smoking ghosts next.
Sorry, carry on, please.
Also, Judge Jeffreys. Are you aware of Judge Jeffreys, the hanging judge?
I've heard of Judge Jeffreys in my readings around Cornwall, but go ahead.
He seems to crop up everywhere, so I think we should do a whole other episode on Judge Jeffreys, a.k.a. the hanging judge. But he apparently at one point held court there, kept prisoners in the basement, and presumably sentenced people to hanging because it was very much his thing.
Yeah, I don't think that's a fun quirk for a judge. Oh, I find people guilty. I'm a hanging judge.
I'm a bad judge.
Yeah, I can't do my job.
You want to be like the unpredictable judge.
Oh, yeah. Is that how you would, if you were going to be a quirky judge, you'd be mercurial.
At least, you know, people would want to stay to the end.
Yeah.
So Marc Alexander in Haunted Inns interviews Brian and Mary Clark, who are the couple who are running the inn at the time that he visits. And they'd only been running it for 6 months, but in those 6 months, they'd seen plenty of ghosts. Mary says, I saw him twice in 1 week. For some days before, my husband and I and our small son had been strangely restless. I do not know how to describe the feeling, but it was a very unusual one for us. Then one night, in the early hours really, I woke up and saw a figure standing at the foot of the bed. It was a young man with fair hair. At first, I was terrified, as I thought someone had broken in, and I remember wondering why the front door had not been barred properly. Then I felt my fear leave me, and as I did so, the figure just melted away. The second time, it was just the same. This time, I opened my eyes and sat bolt upright. Now I recognised the figure at the foot of the bed, and I spoke to him, but as before, it faded away. Brian woke up in time to hear me speaking to the figure, but by the time he was fully awake, it was gone. It's interesting that each time the ghost disappeared after my fear abated. It's also interesting that happened when she was in bed.
That is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the connection between being asleep and seeing things that aren't there? We may never know.
Ghosts.
Ghosts, yeah. Sometimes a ghost will wake you up.
Alasdair in room 4. Next door to room 5, you know, with the...
I know where 4 comes. Thank you very much.
Good.
Patronise me.
Oh, I've just lost my place. In room 4.
Room 4.
As I say, next door to room 5.
Which is Spooky Tobacco Room.
Which is the spooky tobacco room. There is a haunted cushion.
Oh, you built that up nicely. I enjoyed that.
People notice a mysterious depression, don't we all? In the cushion, and they shake it out.
Yeah.
Put it back, and it reappears as if someone has been
sitting on that cushion.
In the chair on that cushion.
Is that a haunted cushion, or is that just a bad cushion?
Just an old cushion that needs replacing.
Yeah, a slightly flat cushion is not that rare in my experience.
No, but you shake it out, and it says that it looks like someone's sitting there, and these are politer books than me. I think it's got full-on bum dentations.
Oh, so someone's actually sitting naked with a visible cleft, is that what you're saying, in the buttock depressions?
Yes, I think it's a visible bum indentation.
It's being ruched in the centre.
Yes.
Being pinched. Wow.
And apparently also in room 5, there's sometimes a similar phenomena happens in the bed as if someone is sleeping in that bed. An invisible man, if you will.
Sleeping in your bed.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
So those are a few of the ghosts of the Dolphin Inn in Penzance.
Wonderful. What an atmospheric pub. With a terrific vegan menu. Many of the pubs, including the Admiral Benbow, have a vegan option. You know, I'm not complaining. But the Dolphin, particularly good.
Particularly good.
They've got all the allergens and everything there. All the information you need.
They've got all that information, and they've got enough spare blackboard to have ghostly messages.
Yeah. Are you frail?
Are you
frail?
Are you frail?
What if we'd written yes?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. You might just get some troll ghosts, though.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you were a ghost and you got sucked into a seance, you'd just riff a bit, wouldn't you? And you'd be like, yeah, Alexander the Great.
Yeah, probably.
How did I die? Exploded. I exploded.
I was reading, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was the Dolphin, but it was talking about one pub that when it was redecorated, there was a lot of ghostly shenanigans. And you often hear that, don't you? That when there's a period of redecoration.
Yeah. Ghosts hate that. I get a bit stressed as well.
But I think that's maybe because ghosts have seen fads come and go. They're like, no, flock is not good.
No, chipboard, you're gluing it on. You're going to regret that. Artex on the ceiling. You have to take the whole house down and that'll still be there.
And it'll be illegal in a bit.
Yeah.
Doing the spongy thing.
Don't scumble a wall.
No, don't do anything to your house that's got the word scum in it.
Don't cover up that nice old fireplace.
So I think maybe the ghosts are right.
No, fair point, ghosts. Don't fill in your mysterious tunnel that goes all the way from the attic to the cellar. Or put any kind of warning.
Don't put a handrail there. I want some friends. So, yeah. Are you like a ghost Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen ready to judge me?
Yes.
I imagine he's quite judgy.
I'm not sure why Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen was brought up there.
Because the interior decoration.
Changing rooms. Oh, right, yes. Being judgmental and interior decor.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. I'll get my cuffs all ruched. If anyone can remember what Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen looked like, he looked like a cavalier.
You could picture him in a tricorne hat, to be honest.
He would look good in a tricorne hat.
Forward or backward, or on the side, which is probably forwards or backwards again.
Yeah, that's the good thing about a tricorne hat.
Exactly. Okay, so first category. Naming.
Names.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to include Admiral Benbow and Sir Cloudsley Shovel, even though I brought them up. Because Sir Cloudsley Shovel? Naming a dog Cloudsley Shovel?
It's a good name for a dog because they're very good at digging, as are shovels.
Yeah. And then when the dog dies, digging in heaven.
Oh, he would be.
He would be.
I also like a knighted dog. I like it when dogs have,
I don't know if the dog was called Sir Cloudsley Shovel or if the dog was just called Cloudsley, now that I think about it. But probably that's his full name, Sir Cloudsley Shovel.
Yeah.
So which names did you contribute to the story? There's the Dolphin Pub. Great name.
Yes.
Dolphin Inn, sorry. It is an inn. You can stay there.
Just Brian and Mary Clark and George or the captain.
Brian and Mary Clark. I'm sorry. I don't think I've ever heard worse names. Well, honestly, I think it's a 2 out of 5, and a significant portion of that was the names I mentioned.
Moving swiftly on then to category 2, supernatural.
It's category 2, which is next to category 1.
It is.
Supernatural. Well, where did that tobacco come from? I can tell you one thing. It wasn't lesbians.
No.
We know that because we checked.
Yes.
That's pretty suspicious. How did they identify that the tobacco was historic? Is it the shape of it? It was
the type of tobacco that you don't get as like in long strips, which it's not like that anymore.
Now it's all sort of scraggly, like a beard.
Yeah, like
beard
a bad
hairs,
beard.
I think. I don't really know much about tobacco. I've seen it. How are the ghosts of the future going to leave like disposable vapes?
Yeah, when you get it's the smell of rhubarb and custard.
Vanilla.
Oh, Grandad, he loved a vape. The footsteps.
Footsteps, yep. Clonky, clonky, clonk.
An extra fact to those footsteps that I didn't mention before.
You slipping in extra facts during the scoring section.
When Brian Clark heard those footsteps, they were clearly the sound of boots on floorboards. It took him a little while to realise where he heard the footsteps from was carpeted.
Oh. So it was walking on the historic floorboards. So you got ghostly feet there and ghost floorboards.
Yes. Whispering from empty rooms. That's pretty spooky.
Yeah, the whispering from empty rooms is good.
The sound of dragging. Historical smuggling.
My question to you, James, is, are there any pictures of Brian and Mary pointing at the places where these things occurred?
Well.
Because I don't know if I can really believe in a haunting until I've seen a grainy black and white photograph of an unenthusiastic publican pointing into the area where it happened.
There's Mary Clark and a local.
That is actually very dramatically framed. The local's nice. Sort of in the foreground in profile, necking a pint with one of those old pint glasses with the big handle and the sort of the like windows. You know the way those are wibbly wobbly window glass.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably a name for it. There's a name for everything, isn't there?
There's a poster advertising the fancy dress in Hooley. Or a fancy dress Hooley.
A very flattering photograph of Mary.
Yep.
She's giving a big smile. She's not pointing at anything.
Mary Clark at work at the Dolphin, unperturbed by footsteps and a phantom. And presumably that guy drinking the pint is a regular rather than a phantom.
He's not the phantom. They're not saying that he's unperturbed by this terrifying spectral visage. So it's a 4 out of 5 because I also received a ghostly message myself in the Dolphin. And I only went in there to have a spinach pie.
Fair enough.
If I can be haunted in that amount of time, imagine how much more haunted you could be within 6 months.
Well, they were only there 6 months and they've already had 3 incidents with 2 different ghosts.
So if we extrapolate that out into the full length that that pub has existed, it's off the charts, James. It's off the charts.
Yeah.
If we had a gauge, it would be going... Steam would be coming out of the gauge.
If we had a thermometer outside a church, it would be red all the way up to the top.
All the way up to the top. So it's 4.
Okay.
Not 5. Not 5 because there weren't actually that many ghosts. But still, a good 4.
Okay, then. My next category is a terrible habit.
Oh, so is that smoking is a terrible habit?
It's smoking, yeah.
Yeah, I disapprove of smoking. I was one of those square kids. You know, the kids who really hate smoking. You're like, oh, you shouldn't smoke.
It's good. It's good.
I mean, I say I was. I am now one of that, but an adult.
Square adult.
Just a square adult, yeah.
It's also littering. They could have at least used the ashtray. And there is one in that picture with Mary.
I think, in a way, the most dangerous habit of all is falling down lift shafts.
That's a terrible habit.
It's a terrible habit.
Yep.
It's very difficult to actually form as a habit.
Yes, I suppose that's the one thing it's got in its favour.
You don't get habituated to it that easily. Just say no. If other kids, James, are saying, oh, do you want to go down a lift shaft?
Do you want to fall down a lift shaft?
Do you want to fall down a lift shaft? We're all doing it. Ah! Just go home.
Clomping around in your boots at night time, that's a bad habit.
That's a terrible habit. Take your shoes off. This is a boots off in.
Yes, please. I don't know, smuggling. We're kind of broadly on the side of the oldie worldy smugglers, aren't we?
It's very hard to be on the side of the exciseman when it comes to smuggling.
Especially, when you're into folk stories, they are inevitably the baddie.
Except wreckers.
Oh, wreckers.
Jamaica in-style wreckers. Those people, that is unacceptable.
That is a bit much.
Yeah, that is almost literally murder. Sinking a ship on purpose. No. That is a bad habit.
Yeah.
I'm as judgmental about that. If I were in Jamaica I'd be like, stop smoking pipes, it's bad for you. Are you wrecking ships? You shouldn't do that.
Turn that tricorne hat so one of the corns are facing the front, please.
It's the same.
Any one of them. You've got 3 to pick. I mean, if this had been a monastery or if there had been a ghost monk, this would have been a way better category. But it wasn't.
Yeah, it's very hard to actually work a pun into this.
Yeah.
Well, it is a bad habit, and I am quite judgmental. So I'm inclined to go. I really think you've provided me a 2's worth of material, but I'm going to go for a 3.
Yes. And my final category.
Okay. I'm rubbing my hands together with glee now, in anticipation of a strong final category.
Depressed furniture.
Yeah.
Right.
Because of the bum cleft in the old cush.
We've got the haunted cushion.
Yep. Yes.
We've got the invisible man sleeping in your bed. And the idea of ghosts not being happy at redecoration.
Yeah. Yes.
There's not that much. What was the furniture like when you were there? Was it uplifting?
No, it wasn't thrilling. No criticism of the pub. It was your usual upholstered benches around the outside, sort of built into the walls.
Ooh, nice.
But we sat in a smaller sort of annex room because it was quite busy with standard wooden dining chair type chairs.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say they were depressed.
Not depressed. No. Okay.
Although the blackboard did ask me if I was a friend.
Yeah.
Or a friend. So perhaps it was feeling a little down and was just reaching out.
Yeah. Maybe that's what the ghosts are doing. They're just reaching out.
Yeah. Oh, that's really sad. You can't end the podcast on such a sad note.
Probably stop hunting them.
Yeah, ghost hunters. What about ghost carers? You want to be like the people who feed bees with a little bit of sugar water.
I'm sure it puts us in with the wokerati. But guys, stop hunting ghosts. And it is guys.
Stop hunting ghosts.
Apart from Yvette Fielding.
I'm sick of seeing some billionaire with his foot up on a ghost on social media. It's disgusting.
Did you hear that billionaire said he would fight a ghost in a cage fight? Probably. So it's got to be 5 out of 5 then.
I mean, I don't think it is, but I feel like I've been a little bit strict with you today. And you were so generous last week, so yeah, I'll go for a sympathy 5. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah. Which you and I and the listener knows doesn't really count.
Yeah, but
so anybody keeping a spreadsheet, I want a footnote saying it was probably actually a 3.
You want an asterisk?
An asterisk. I want a Harvard-style referencing. It wasn't.
What is
really
this Harvard referencing? You said it last week, and
did I mention Harvard referencing?
I laughed along like I knew what it meant, but I think I need to admit that I don't know what that means.
Oh, it's a form of if you're doing referencing in an essay for a university, you might use Harvard-style referencing.
How's it?
Which
different?
I think is it's not a footnote. Harvard-style, the references go at the end, which is actually much more annoying.
You've
got to keep flick.
I've had a couple of books that do that. They got the asterisks, and then you get to the end, and I just ignore it because it's not at the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, it must just be like, a book title or something. Yeah. You get to the end, it's like a full paragraph and a whole bonus story, but you can't remember what it's in reference to.
No, it's annoying. Worse still, when it's like in the appendix. Well, I'm not flipping to page 350 to find out.
Oh, I got to keep my finger in there. It's going to fall asleep, this finger.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm not Steve Fingers. How many fingers do you think I've got? I think I'm made of fingers, like a revolting finger Frankenstein, like a Michelin man, a pink Michelin man.
But all things.
Made of human fingers.
Is he sort of scuttling around?
Yes, yeah. Ooh. He doesn't walk. He's copied us, but he doesn't know how we move.
If you look closely,
just the feet just wriggle, and he moves like that without actually moving his legs.
It's all little fingers sticking out the bottom.
Yep. He wears Crocs.
Is that what the holes are for in Crocs?
So that the fingers can access the ground. That's what the holes in Crocs are for. So 5 out of 5.
Yes.
Sympathy 5. Footnote sympathy 5.
But a 5 nonetheless.
What a lovely holiday.
What a great time.
What a nice holiday.
So I suppose if anyone else is visiting Cornwall, or Penzance specifically, they pop this podcast on and...
Yeah. Oh, that would make the train journey fly by.
But what if they've run out? What if after all that, they've run out of things to listen to, Alasdair? How can they listen to more?
Surely there has to be more. There must be more law nonsense from little James.
Yes.
We ABK.
Well, you could go to patreon.com/LoremenPod, and there you can sign up and get bonus episodes and access to the Law Folk Discord. We can chat with like-minded law folks.
Yes, the greatest prize of all. Within the things that the Patreon offers.
Yeah, and on the bonus episodes.
What was that?
It's a dolphin. That was an actual dolphin.
A real dolphin?
Not a pub.
Wow. Did that farmer bring it?
Yeah, sorry.
He actually rode in on a dolphin.
This whole time. He just wanted to come and say, join that Discord or join them on patreon.com /.
.com.
.com.